The Alma system is designed to offer control and treatment for abnormal postpartum hemorrhage or bleeding in situations where conservative management is appropriate. Alma is an easy-to-use device made of soft silicone. The intrauterine shaft, which evacuates blood from the uterus. The cervical seal holds the vacuum within the uterus, an easy-to-grasp ergonomic handle. A seal valve to facilitate the inflation of the cervical seal with fluid. A vacuum connector attaches Alma to the vacuum source. Upon observation of bleeding, assess the patient for lacerations, retained products of conception, or any other potential sources of bleeding. Confirm that the bladder is empty. Get the Alma system ready by connecting the sterile luer-tapered syringe to thoroughly eliminate any air from the cervical seal. Ensure that the cervix is visible and confirm that it is dilated at 3 centimeters or more. Gently insert the Alma device transvaginally, being careful not to apply excessive force. Following insertion, ensure that the entire intrauterine shaft is inside the uterus and that the cervical seal is positioned correctly outside the external cervical ostium. Connect the pre-filled syringe to the seal valve and fill the cervical seal with 60 milliliters of sterile fluid. If necessary, you may add up to 60 milliliters of additional sterile fluid. Adjust the vacuum source to 80 millimeters of mercury while blocking the end of the tubing to confirm the vacuum level. Connect the vacuum tubing to Alma to begin the treatment. The evacuation of blood into the vacuum tubing and canister should occur subsequently. After placing Alma, verify that the cervical seal is correctly positioned outside the external cervical ostium. If necessary, you can reposition Alma to improve the seal. Finally, secure Alma to the patient's inner thigh using tape. Observe the collapse of the uterus and any change in tone. It is normal for blood flow to persist for a few minutes after uterine collapse. Maintain the vacuum application until bleeding is controlled for at least 1 hour. Ensure that the uterus remains firm and monitor the patient's stability during this period. Before disconnecting the vacuum from Alma, ensure that the treatment is no longer required. While the vacuum is still on, detach the vacuum tubing from Alma to collect any blood from the tubing into the canister. Remember to document the level of evacuated blood in the canister for record-keeping purposes. Connect an empty syringe to the seal valve and completely withdraw all fluid from the cervical seal. Maintain Alma in place for a minimum of 30 minutes and carefully monitor for any signs of recurrent uterine bleeding before proceeding with removal. If necessary, you may reinitiate vacuum treatment during this period. If bleeding is adequately controlled and the uterus is firm for at least 30 minutes, you may proceed to remove Alma. To do so, place one hand on the abdomen to secure the uterine fundus while using the other hand to slowly withdraw Alma. If bleeding does not subside promptly, conduct an evaluation to identify potential alternative sources of bleeding and contemplate alternative treatments as necessary. Alma, an innovative system for postpartum hemorrhage management.